Hello, hello, this is Pixie doing another video. Pixie doing another video. Just tuning in the voice a bit, that's it. So I've been doing a lot of work, bits on myself and research. And the thing is, with learning about anything to support yourself, it's got to have some application. Otherwise, you just sort of have these bits of information that not really you can use. And I guess with books as well, they might give you different scientific facts and to support the theories and beliefs. But you have to really see the evidence on yourself. So there was, so we looked at a few different audiobooks recently, and one of them suggests about listening to about 15 times. So I think, well, that's not a bad approach to have to a lot of books. And information is just keep listening to it, to try to drum it in, so that then you can pick it apart. I guess you don't want to take away the free will of understanding what something is, but you want to know the context. You want to be able to say, this is power or whatever, or laws of power, or, there's a different approach. There might be a few things, like when it comes to strategy, to get it really welded into the mind, because they're the skill sets you're looking for that other people don't normally have. Like, I don't know, studying body language, for instance, and then also using different body language. You might be quite good at body language. I can look more interested, like if I wanted to just raise my eyebrow, but some people won't know that. Gone a bit tight, I guess. There we go. So it's also being a chameleon in that you mirroring people's body language and behaviour is quite easy, but you have to do it in your own style, otherwise it will come off as not authentic, and people will pick up like you just taking the mickey at me. But things like crossing people's legs or mirror their arms, or maybe the reverse of it. They seem a bit closed, their body language, so you open your own up, and then so they feel that there's nothing to hide from yourself. Or maybe that openness makes them feel even more uncomfortable. So it's kind of measuring how their body language change. What are they guarding? I see these akimbo things, that people might put their hand up here, maybe on the waist, or they take up more space, more dominant behaviour. But it's all important stuff really to sort of add to your tool set of social communication and eye contact as well. How much eye contact is correct? Too much, too little? Or should you build it up? Should you intensify the eye contact and measure the other person? How long do they want to look at you? And what sort of micro expressions they show if you look at them too long, and things like that. So definitely interesting stuff. And then there's like Corey Wayne's 3% Man. I've listened to it about 5 times, so it's going to keep going over it. And it's just covering behaviour, but it's also, when I'm going through the book, I'm looking at my own personal behaviour and thinking, you've been a bit of a baby about that, or you're thinking in certain ways, or you just have to accept some circumstances are purely emotional and in the moment. And if you've got a long-term application in there, what men do, like finalising a plan, structure, and this could be for business relationships, this work relationships, could be for any other relationship really. What's the most beneficial? pragmatism really will get you your results. So sometimes you might have to fuck your lip and take a hiding or something, or you might distance yourself from somebody who's toxic, or you might see that they've got certain strengths that you want to use, so you have to engage at a certain level. And there's some people that are more motivational, but it's just kind of sorting out the relationship. And the most important thing is have a relationship with yourself improve. And it's stuff like self-comforting. It's going to increase dopamine and oxytocin. Like, so you think, oh, okay, like I've started to do, I don't always do it, but when I come out of the shower, I've used I use a soap and stuff, I've got to cleanse my face. And I was using moisturiser. I started massaging coconut oil to the face. And I probably think it's quite good because the muscles will stimulate muscles in your face. Your face is what people see to identify a lot about you as a person, your character and everything else. Even lines, because at the moment my brow seems like it's a masculine thing actually to do a bit of a square brow. But it's things like even like the way I've been cutting my eyebrows, I might have been actually making it more sort of look more focused maybe, but I could look like I'm scouring a bit. So you have to add other traits, because always people read the face and think, he's very serious. Then also if it's quite bright, my eyes might be sort of more squinted. So some of the stuff you can practice in the mirror, like your face, how it appears, and body language can affect the way your voice sounds. Like if I open my arms up more, like this, but if I narrow it in a bit, I might be more higher. So yeah, and actually as I'm driving, my voice might pitch because there might be micro stresses on the road, the things I'm responding to that are making me go, oh yes, or slow down, or either that sometimes I don't talk because I need to focus on what's around me more. Or it's just not kind of correct situation really. I don't want to draw any sort of negative interests. Even though we live in a time where people are always on devices and you get people walking past you down the street saying hello and suddenly you realise they're talking to their headphones. And also body language. Other things to say, the things I have learned, so to be more attractive, I mean hygiene, so which is that 80% of hygiene is an impact. So, normally most clothes wash regularly, but if they enter in a situation, they definitely would want to wash, they might think they're clean, but if there's anything that they smell on them that can be picked up by another person, it's an indication of their character. It might have their emotions affected on it. There was something I was looking at a study where they smelt sweat on people from fear and something like going down the gym, and basically they had a more or less pleasant reaction to sweat from somebody that was in a situation generated from fear. So it's automatically caused them to react with fear. It's like smelling fear, smell fear, it's fear. They say about dogs and animals, don't they? So, but all of the things that the animals have, we have at some lower level. We just never really high-tuned them in. We didn't need them to function as a human being. We needed different resources, so that's why we went in different directions on our development. But it doesn't mean they're not there. That's the thing. Just been less aware. And also men are less aware of some things that were going on. So, I had someone who seemed to be calling me up over little things, and I didn't over-talk the conversation, and it was sort of jokey, friendly. But now I see that possibly she was reaching out just to connect, nothing else. She was connected, but she wasn't calling up necessarily for business. She's calling up because maybe she just scheduled me in, or maybe she wanted to be cheered up. I don't know. It could be that I operate as a trigger for dopamine. So there's also the relationship you have with people. So if you enter with a positive mindset, and sometimes you hear things like about being more attracting yourself, more attractive with like they talk about semen retention, and that possibly could be true if you've been involved in sexual activity, then you probably still smell of it at a micro level. That might be detectable by females and males, so even if you just slept with your partner, you might be able to sense something about you. So, but then equally, like if women are on their monthly, they're probably less likely to want to have people with the closeness necessarily. They might do, depends how they feel, but they might be giving off a slight over about them. That, not necessarily it's unattractive, but it's telling still that they're ovulated or whatever, so just reach the end of the cycle. Yeah, so there's lots of things, the smells telling people about you, and the sensitivity for a female and a male is much different. I think hygiene's quite important to them, and also they want to pick up other things. I was in a supermarket, I put on some sort of like zesty, it was like some grapefruit stuff, and I washed with something else. And somebody says, well, basically she was walking for a distance from me, so somebody smells a bit zesty or something. So that would be a way to generate conversation. But however, she knew that she knew that I probably was smelling, or something that smelled like citrus. Which was interesting, because the distance I was, I mean, I could just about smell it myself if I wanted to. I couldn't pick it up from like 2 meters away. So yeah, so I've got to go back through all the neuroscience to do. So the other author is Vanessa Van Edwards, and I think it's something to do with like social cues. She's got a lot of other books out as well that I'll probably grab. I went with the audio one because I could speed it up as well, so I could hear her just twice the speed of normal if she would talk. And the idea is once I'm into that, I can actually speed it up a little bit further and listen to it because I already know the book, and then pump it into the brain and then start utilising body language, cues, social cues, even like where you position yourself in an event. Where's the best place to be at a party? And, the quality of conversation, what you're looking for. So, it kind of all makes sense, but it's just stuff that people ignore. So you could be somewhere where you think, well, no one's not talking to me. It's because they're all grabbing lunch, or something else, or you just sat in the wrong position at the table. Or you're not reading the body language correctly. That's another thing. Anyway, please sign off. Have a great one, and speak to you soon. Bye.